voice filled with warmth and wisdom. Love one another as I have loved you. This simple yet profound message resonated deeply with everyone present. It was a call to action, a reminder of the power of love and the importance of treating each other with respect and kindness. Show kindness and compassion to everyone you meet. These words were not just meant to be heard but to be lived. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, can create ripples of positive change in the world. The crowd began to understand that their actions could make a difference.
Jesus was teaching a big crowd. His voice carried over the hillside, reaching every ear and touching every heart. The people were eager to listen, to learn, and to be inspired by his teachings. People sat on a grassy hillside, listening to his words. The hillside was a natural amphitheater, providing a perfect setting for this gathering. The grass was soft and green, and the air was filled with a sense of anticipation and reverence. They came from far and wide to hear him speak. Some traveled for days, crossing mountains and rivers, driven by the hope of hearing words that would change their lives. The diversity of the crowd was a testament to the universal appeal of Jesus' message. Jesus told stories and made people laugh. His stories were filled with wisdom and humor, making complex ideas accessible and memorable. Laughter echoed across the hillside, creating a bond among the listeners. He talked about love and kindness. His words painted vivid pictures of a world where love and kindness were the guiding principles. The audience was captivated, hanging on every word, feeling a sense of hope and possibility. Everyone felt happy and peaceful. The atmosphere was one of joy and tranquility. People smiled at each other, feeling a sense of connection and community. It was as if the hillside itself was infused with the spirit of love and peace. The sun shone brightly, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. The weather was perfect, adding to the sense of harmony and well-being. The gentle breeze carried the scent of flowers and the sound of rustling leaves, creating a symphony of nature. Birds sang sweetly in the nearby trees. Their melodious songs added to the serene ambience, making the day feel even more magical. The birds seemed to be singing in harmony with Jesus' message, as if nature itself was celebrating the moment. It was a perfect day to be with Jesus. The combination of his inspiring words, the beautiful setting, and the sense of community made it a day to remember. It was a day that would be cherished in the hearts of all who were there, a day that exemplified the power of love and the beauty of human connection. As the day went on, the disciples started to worry. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows over the crowd that had gathered. The air was filled with murmurs of hunger and anticipation. The disciples exchanged anxious glances, realizing the gravity of the situation.
Voice filled with concern. Jesus, it's getting late and people are hungry. We need to send them away to the nearby villages to buy themselves some food.
The other disciples nodded in agreement. They knew that the crowd had been there all day, listening to Jesus' teachings, and now their stomachs were growling with hunger. The disciples felt a sense of urgency, knowing that they had to act quickly.
Voice practical and worried. There are thousands of people here. We can't possibly feed them all. Even if we had enough money, where would we buy so much food? The disciples looked overwhelmed by the sheer number of people. They felt a sense of helplessness, knowing that their resources were limited.
Andrew looked around nervously. He scanned the crowd, hoping to find a solution, but all he saw were more hungry faces. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on his shoulders.
Voice anxious. We only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish. This is all we could find. How can we possibly feed everyone with this? The disciples looked at the small amount of food in their hands. It seemed like a cruel joke, a tiny offering in the face of such great need. They counted and recounted, hoping for a miracle.
The disciples murmured amongst themselves, their faces etched with concern. They whispered their doubts and fears, wondering how they could possibly meet the needs of the crowd. The weight of the situation was starting to feel heavy. They felt the pressure mounting, knowing that the crowd was looking to them for answers. The disciples were at a loss, unsure of what to do next. Jesus listened patiently to their concerns. He had a calm look on his face. He wasn't worried at all.
Voice gentle and reassuring. Don't worry, have the people sit down in groups.
The disciples were surprised, but they trusted Jesus. They did as they were told. People found spots on the grass in groups of 10s and 50s. A sense of anticipation filled the air. Everyone wondered what Jesus was about to do. Jesus took the loaves and fish in his hands. He looked up to heaven and gave thanks. Then something amazing happened. The bread and fish in his hands started to multiply. 1 loaf became 2, 2 became 4, and 4 became 8. The fish also multiplied before their very eyes. A young boy named Caleb watched in awe as a basket next to Jesus overflowed with food.
Voice filled with amazement. Wow!
The disciples' mouths dropped open in surprise. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Section 5. More than enough. The disciples quickly began distributing the food to the crowd. Everyone received as much as they wanted. They ate until they were full and satisfied. There was laughter and chatter as people shared the miraculous meal. Children giggled as they tried to catch crumbs in their mouths. Parents smiled, grateful to see their families fed. There was a sense of joy and community in the air. Section 6. Leftovers for everyone. When everyone was full, there was still food left over. Baskets overflowed with bread and fish.
Gather the leftovers so that nothing is wasted.
The disciples were amazed. They filled 12 large baskets with the extra food. Even after feeding thousands, there was more than enough.
This is incredible.
The miracle left the disciples and everyone present in awe of Jesus' power and compassion. Section 7. Bread of Life. Later that evening, Jesus gathered his disciples close. He wanted them to understand the deeper meaning of what they had witnessed.
Remember the bread and fish?
The disciples nodded, their hearts still full of wonder.
I am the bread of life. Those who come to me will never be hungry, and those who believe in me will never be thirsty.
Jesus' words resonated deeply within them, sparking a new understanding of his divine nature. Section 8. A Miracle Remembered. The miracle of the loaves and fishes became a story that was told and retold. It was a tale that transcended generations, passed down from parents to children and shared among friends and neighbors. This story was more than just an account of a miraculous event. It was a testament to the power of faith and the compassion of Jesus. It reminded people that Jesus cared for their needs, both physical and spiritual. He was not just a distant figure, but someone who walked among them, understood their struggles and provided for them in their times of need. His actions spoke louder than words, showing that he was there to support and uplift them. He was a God of abundance who could provide for them in miraculous ways. The overflowing baskets of loaves and fishes were a symbol of his limitless generosity and his ability to turn scarcity into plenty. This miracle was a powerful reminder that with faith, even the impossible could become possible. Whenever people felt lost or alone, they remembered the day Jesus fed the 5,000. It was a source of comfort and reassurance, a reminder that they were never truly alone. In moments of doubt and despair, this story rekindled their faith and gave them the strength to carry on. It gave them hope, knowing that with Jesus, anything was possible. This hope was a guiding light in their lives, illuminating their path and helping them navigate through the challenges they faced. The story of the loaves and fishes was a beacon of hope that shone brightly in their hearts. The story served as a beacon of hope, reminding everyone of Jesus' boundless love and the miracle that touched their lives. It was a story that brought people together, fostering a sense of community and shared faith. The miracle of the loaves and fishes was not just a historical event, but a living testament to the enduring power of love, faith, and hope.